20 minutes past the hour now when the captain of that doomed Germanwings flight told the co-pilot to prepare the landing. Andreas Lubitsch replied, quote, "Hopefully, we'll see." Those ominous words captured in the cockpit recordings, according to the report in that German newspaper I mentioned in the last block. The transcript also said to show that the co-pilot repeatedly told the captain that you can go to the lavatory, go ahead, after the captain indicated he needed to use the bathroom. The co-pilot's comments appear to be the first sign that something really wasn't right. Prosecutors say the co-pilot went to really great lengths to hide his mental health problems from his co-workers and his bosses. Executives with Lufthansa say nobody suspected he was ill at all, even though he took time off from pilot training for treatment years ago. Even in the hours after the crash, the airline CEO said that the co-pilot was, quote, 100% fit to fly, unquote. So how did he manage to keep such a secret, this illness? And who's to blame for letting him in the cockpit? Aviation attorney Daniel Rose is here on the news deck. He's a licensed commercial pilot who conducted investigative debris searches when he served in the U.S. Navy. I guess you have to tell them or they're not going to know. Is that how this works?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the honor system, unfortunately, that heavily weighted in trying to weed out these people. And it doesn't always work, especially when you have pilots who are motivated to keep their career, keep their passion. They love flying. What is really, at the end of the day, their incentive to essentially end their career?
Seems like there's more of an incentive to go the other way, actually.
There is.
You've said that there are three things we can do here to try to fix this. What are they?
Well, you really have to have layers of protections to try catch these people, similar to how we handle the terrorism risk. You have to have the background checks when they first apply. You have to have a psych eval when they first get hired. You got to have an ongoing, recurrent evaluation of the pilots while they're in the employment to see if anything's changed, whether that involves lie detectors. That's very controversial, but maybe that. And then at the end of the day, you've got to have the physical barriers to the cockpit that prevent anybody from getting through. And in this case, having a second flight attendant in the cockpit to make sure that if everything else fails, you have somebody in there that can save the day.
I've heard the argument that having a second person in there, maybe a flight attendant, is no fail-safe either, because if you want to take the plane down, if you've got that stick in your hand, you can take it down.
That's true. There is no fail-safe, but in a case like this, I think there very well may have been a deterrent factor just having somebody in there. But if nothing else, having a flight attendant go and open the door mechanically, and now the captain's in, and perhaps other crew members are in, and it's better than nothing.
In the United States, that's a rule already, right?
It's absolutely a rule.
So just for domestic flights, or if I'm flying on Delta to, say, London or Paris or something, is that the rule there too?
Absolutely.
And with those flights, there's normally an air marshal too, but it sounds like getting in there is mighty hard, like maybe too hard for an air marshal. There's one report he used an axe and couldn't get in.
Yeah, after 9/11, we decided we didn't want anybody getting into the cockpit that wasn't supposed to be in there, and we've done that. Those doors are fail-safe.
Another thing we've learned about 9/11, or since 9/11, is that sometimes they're just trying to make us feel safe, and everything can't be protected. Everything can't be prevented. Lighters and shampoo as two very obvious examples on domestic flying that for some reason are still there. Would this be another of those make me feel better things, or do we think we can get closer to something that's preventable?
I think it is. I think the statistics in the U.S. bear it out. We haven't had an incident like that here, so we're doing pretty well. But we can always do better. And airlines are not having a psych eval. They're not doing background checks. They can ask pilots to waive their HIPAA rights to secrecy and say, if you want to fly for us, show us your medical records. There are additional layers, just like in terrorism, additional layers to fight this problem. So at the end of the day, you don't have what we saw with Germanwings.
Daniel, thank you.
My pleasure.